I'm going to take you through my layout of how I keep all my images and edits and videos all together. I've had an issue with keeping everything, organized. I think I have a way, and then that doesn't work. And I've created this new way for myself to kind of work out to be a little bit better for me. So I'm going to take you through how I do that. So welcome to my home screen. In the top right corner, you'll find my media archive. That's where everything stays. Now, when I'm working on projects and I have current projects, everything remains on my laptop. I have 1 terabyte to play with, so that's where everything goes. And then when I need to back it up and finish with the project, everything goes to here. So I at least have a copy of everything on here. So when we open my media archive, you will find all my stuff. So admin, client work, commercial, my film photography, my personal projects, stock and assets, and my YouTube. Pretty self-standard on what that is. Now, I've recently just shot the All Japanese car show. Just me personally, I was just there. And I've been using Lightroom Classic now. I've moved over to there. I used to use Lightroom CC, but my problem with that was I focused too much on the cloud and how quick and easy it was to access. My photography was detrimental to social media. I just needed to post something. So going back to Classic has and will hopefully make me a better photographer and focus more on my photos. So when I come to my personal projects, 2026, the All Japanese car show, don't mind that project, that's coming soon. And my shoots, you'll find my raw files all here, my edits are all here. Then I have my selects, so the ones that I deem are my favorites, they go there. Bear in mind, my edits one is all the ones that I culled down from. I usually edit all of them and then save them. So then there's at least something there. So if I end up liking one down the track, I know I have it. My selects are my favorite ones. And then my final images, they're all culled into high resolution, my web. So if I ever want to upload some to my website, or my black and white ones. Publishing, I don't really do much on that yet. I'm still trying to lay out this kind of organization. And then we come to my project file. So here is my little contact sheet where all my shots that I've taken are laid out here. I am a big lover of film photography and contact sheets and seeing all that. So that way I can easily see what my photos will look like and then choose it from there. And it's just the way that I keep my film photography and my digital photography kind of in sync with each other, even though you don't necessarily need a contact sheet because you have it all accessed. And then we come to my Lightroom catalog, which shows you the little link. Click open that, and that opens Lightroom. And that opens the file, and then that opens my whole entire project, and you can see all the photos that I take that you just saw in the little contact sheet. So I can go here, and if I want to change something, I can go just brighten that, darken that. If I see Lightroom Classic as an easier way that I can access it. If I want to change something, I can sit down and edit it instead of having to use my phone as a quick and easy thing. As much as I appreciated Lightroom CC to, adjust something quickly, it just didn't. I think Classic will allow me to sit down and go, okay, do I really want to make this change? If I really want to make this change, I want to sit down and do this. I don't want to, use my phone. I've been trying to cut down on my screen time with my phone. So I've been keeping an eye on that, and using Lightroom obviously bumps up my screen time, so I don't want to use that. And especially for my photography, I have my laptop for my reason, so I can see this big screen. So from there, I can do a slideshow. I can make prints off them. I have That's how I made my contact sheet. I can export everything the same as Lightroom CC. And that is everything within my catalog. That is how everything's all sorted. Now I've only just started this organization and using Lightroom Classic, so there's going to be no files on there. Will I use Lightroom CC still? Well, of course, there are some times where I want to make a quick edit. If I take a photo on my phone and I just want to do a quick little kind of adjustment, I can do that. But when it comes to my proper photography and I'm using my I'm using my film camera, I don't want to use Lightroom CC at all. I want to come back from the shoot or come back from an adventure or a trip, sit down here, dump the SD card, sort out everything, and then open Lightroom Classic and could sit there for hours just editing. If I don't finish it, then I close it. I don't want my photography to be rushed. I don't want to be that photographer that feels like I have to post every single time to gain traction. You know, I don't care about traction anymore. You know, social media is a tool. I've been trying to strip back on the social media. You know, I like using it. I like posting my photos. I like showing people what kind of photos I can take of, but I don't want my photography to heavily rely on the social media aspect. You know, I don't want to post 3 to 5 photos a week. I don't want to have the need to post something because I'm going to lose followers. I don't care about my followers anymore. I know I used to, but I want to be considered a photographer, not some guy posting his best photos because he's trying to gain a following. I'm just doing it because. So any photographer that is struggling with this whole social media kind of aspect, you're not alone. I've dealt with it for many, many years and been so heavily focused on it, but you know, I think it's time to strip back everything and, you know, not go analog. You know, as much as I love analog and, you know, shooting on film, that's like the greatest thing that I've discovered. Shooting film is great. And I love shooting digital as well, but, you know, bringing back the kind of mindset of pulling out the SD card, sitting down and putting into Lightroom Classic and, you know, sitting on my laptop for hours on end and just editing the photos. And then if I want to post something, then I'll sit back down, export it as for Instagram purposes, and then that's it. I don't need to rush to Lightroom on my phone and quickly post something because, you know, I need that fix of trying to post something and keeping active on the social media. I don't need that. I don't want that. So, thank you all for listening to me rant. I will see you all in the next video.